What's up, guys? It is super hot out here. I think it's like 106 with the heat index. It's pretty crazy, but we're gonna try to paint the backside of this F100. And what I mean by the backside is pretty much everything from the door back. So we're not gonna be painting the door. We're just gonna leave this like this. There's still a little bit of body work to do on this passenger side one. The driver's door is pretty much good, but I want to get everything on the backside, and I'll tell you the reason why. So normally I'm running on a one-man operation here. I've got kind of a different way to move the bed around, and I don't trust that it's not going to cause damage if the bed was painted. So that's why I took the bed off, and the back of the bed is already painted, but I wanted to paint the back of this. That way if somebody comes and they look down in here, they're going to see a completely finished off back of the cab and then a finished off front of the bed. That way it just looks complete, and there's not any area on this truck that looks like we took any shortcuts. All right, so the first part of this hyperlapse is going to be a hook and loop sander. It's on a DA, so it's a hook and loop backing pad with a soft interface. As you can see, it's got a little bit of some give here that'll help it kind of form to the body lines and the curves of the truck and stuff like that without being too aggressive. And this is a 600 grit. The truck is pretty much right now in 320 grit. So this is 600. This is gonna be the final step before we go and just clean everything up and spray it. All right, guys, so last night I had a little issue with my audio, so I ended up just time-lapsing putting the base coat on. I still have one more coat of base to put on there. Typically, you'd want to just put these like right after one another, but we're going to go ahead and spray one more on. It's only been sitting for maybe, I don't know, 7 hours. According to the technical data sheet, that's not a problem. So we're going to go ahead and spray one more coat of base on, and then we're going to go through and clear coat this whole thing. Another issue that became very real to me last night was the fact that I don't have a paint booth. And literally, as soon as I started spraying the base coat on, bugs were just like skydiving from the light right here, landing in the paint and swirling around. So of course they couldn't get stuck. They had to swirl and do all this crazy stuff. And I was able to get all of that out of there. But we're gonna go through and spray one more layer of base on just to cover all that stuff up. Complete transparency, another issue that I had was the fact that I was mixing my base coat and my reducer, and I've never had this happen. I'm guessing it's just because it's so hot outside. Today, the heat index is over 110, but I was mixing those two, and somehow it pressurized inside the mixing cup. When I pulled the little plug that I used to swirl it around to give it one final shake, pulled the plug out, and the pressure in the paint and the reducer and everything shot all over my shirt, got me in the eye. I only think about 90% of it landed in my eye, so that hurt. That's actually why in one of these hyperlapse you can actually see me run towards the camera and shut it off. So I'm gonna see if I can get a picture of that for you. So another couple little things that I'll share with you that I do is I just use a little pump sprayer, and I just kind of wet the floor around it because obviously I can see dust down there. So I just kind of capture it on the floor with some water. Obviously the water is going to hold the dust down. So as I go through and I'm spraying stuff, if I see stuff on the floor that I think might come up or just anything, I just kind of give it a little spray with water, and that'll kind of help from keeping the dust come up. Obviously, you want to make sure that you don't get water on your base coat because then the clear is not going to stick to it. So another thing I like to go over is lighting. So that's a huge thing because obviously you want to be able to see. So I like to position the truck to where I have plenty of light from this side of the room, and then over here I also installed two little lights that will help me. It may not seem like a whole lot, but it definitely does help. This was something I was trying to tell you guys in the video from last night, but obviously the audio wasn't working. But These tack cloths are awesome as just like a final wipe down, kind of catches everything. The cloth's a little sticky and it just kind of gets all the last little bits of dust on there. That way you're not having a bunch of dirt in your paint job. So, all right. We're gonna go ahead and mix up some paint and get started shooting another coat of base. Just wanted to kind of give you guys a little shot of what this was going to look like whenever the whole thing is painted, but everything's looking nice and smooth. The one thing I'll say is there's a little bit of a texture here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it as much on camera. You can kind of see it in that little light reflection right there, but there's a little bit of a texture, and that's just because the hardener that I was using was probably not slow enough for this hot of temperatures. So it's, you know, 100 and some heat index. I probably should have used like an extra slow hardener, but it is what it is. I still think it turned out really good. There's minimal texture, but we can still buff that and it'll look great. I think this whole truck is gonna look so good when this whole thing is done like this, especially once I get the bed on here. There's a lot of body work to do on the bed, but oh yeah, it's just looking nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Everything's so clean. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. So real quick, I just want to go over what paint we're using for this. The color is winter white, and I use Restoration Shop for my personal projects. For customers' cars, I use a variety of things, but for my personal stuff, I like to use Restoration Shop. It's a urethane base and clear coat, and what I've noticed when I use this on my stuff is that if it gets a little scratch on it, it's super easy to buff it out, and the clear is just really, really easy to work with. Ignore the chaos right here. I've got so many paint projects going on, but I'll link to the actual products that I use down in the description, and I'll break it down to just the specifics as well as the full kit if you like this winter white color. But this is the clear coat that I use, RC4221. That's a high gloss urethane clear coat. Like I said, that stuff, I literally purposely tried to run it just to see like how forgiving it was when I was spraying it. And I don't know, it just sprays on so nice. I love this stuff. And of course, you've got your hardener here. As far as the base coat goes, again, Restoration Shop. It's a urethane base coat. I'll give you that little paint code right there, UB1103, I believe that's the paint code. Again, you guys can look that stuff up. I'll leave links down to it in the description. The product's just really good. I'm not getting paid anything or any freebies for recommending their stuff. They just have a really good variety of colors on there, and I just love the way that they turn out every single time. All right, so from here, we're going to actually mount the bed back up. We're probably gonna do that off camera, but we're gonna mount the bed back up, start doing the body work on the bed, because again, the front of the bed is actually painted to match this. So that way, if anybody looks down between there, they're gonna see white on both sides. It's gonna look nice. So once that's mounted there, then we can do all the body work on the bed, shoot the whole bed, and everything will look good. So I did get the next shop upgrade, and it's actually sitting in here right now. I just have to assemble it. So we're just trying to clean up and move some things around, get some more space back open. All right, anyways, hope you guys liked the video. Definitely be watching out for more updates on the F100. Also, let me know if you guys would like to see work done on some of the customers' cars that I have. Obviously, with their permission, I would be uploading just videos of kind of the progress of each thing. If it's something really quick, I probably wouldn't post it on here, but just, you know, if that's something that you guys would like to see, let me know. Other than that, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel, and stay tuned for several more updates, because there's going to be a ton of stuff coming at you.